Greetings, my lovely pirates. Again, I'm sorry for releasing things a little bit late. You had some death in my family, and I was taking a break. But now I'm back, and I actually wanted to give you my opinion on the ship. There is actually two ships. I cannot say that it's only a single ship that has been released. And from the looks of it, they are trying to make Tidal, this Tidal ship, artillery ship in general, they are trying to make it stronger. So, what do I mean by that? First, before I tell you my whole results, I wanted to talk about a couple of things when it comes to shipbuildings. So far, and to be honest with you, there has never been a ship that is good when it comes to the mythic, with the exception of one ship, Lethal Vortex. When it comes to the water ship, this is by far the best ship we can get. Whether you are going for the 200 one, because even the 200 one is performing way better than the Tidal ship, because I have it here. If you click the skills, unique skills, you will see there is Tidal, Corrosion, and the Roaring Waves. I have this one, the Tidal, which is the 200 coins, and it's performing way much better than the Power of Tide one, which is the one we had before. I did not try the Roaring Waves at all. Now, the reason is for the ship being good or bad is the skill, performance, and understanding of the ships in general. If the requirement of the skill is not complicated, then yeah, you will understand why the ship is performing better or why it's not going to perform better. That's completely a different topic, but I'm gonna give you an idea. Now, if you paid attention at the following Tidal Corrosion, why it's actually performing good, because it requirements is super easy and it's achievable, and you will see a result when it comes to the battle. Basic attacks hail these are additional damage equal to 800%, that's massive already, and applies one stack of taking water damage, reducing the armor by specific stuff. And of course it will have everything else related. You can choose this one, and this is the 200 coins, by the way. It has been really an amazing ship overall. I did not test the mythic version of it, but I'm so far happy with the 200 coins of the ship. Now, when it comes to this one, I want to say that the ship is a little bit complicated, I think, when it comes to the previous skill. Previous skill here, I mean formidable cannons. Look at how long this skill is. Anyway, gains favor and line breaker. This was our first legend ship. Favor increases the critical rate by 25%. So basically, you are having 25% crit. Since the introduction of the new armor thing, critical has been in a disaster situation. Let me show you what do I mean. So I have the ship here, okay? That's the new Tidal ship. Let us take any other ship because the example will be more obvious and clear. This is literally my best ship. Those are my best stats has been invested on both of these ships because they are fire and undrawn. So to give you an idea how disastrous the critical situation is, so I have literally, after investing so much critical, so much stats into the ship, I cannot even surpass the critical resistance of the same ship. So if I'm going to fight someone who did not really invest much in critical, the armor resistance, the critical resistance that comes from the armor, even if we're talking about purple, by the way, even if it's purple, it's gonna be so far higher than the critical rate, which makes the critical situation ugly, like really ugly. So you are barely critting, even if you crit, even though if you crit, look at the critical damage, it's 500% if you crit, but so far critical has been reduced into below half right now. So the critical situation itself is terrible, which is one of the reasons is making the artillery ship itself sucks ass, because it relies a lot in critical, because as you will understand now what happens when it comes to this new ship. So let's go back into the artillery ships and discuss this one. The reason I'm discussing this, by the way, guys, because it is our legendary ship that has been released like a few seasons ago, and now we are throwing it basically into the trash can. So increased critical by rate, and after its basic attack triggers the critical hits, there is a 50% chance to increase the critical damage in all of the heroes on this ship for 4 seconds. This is brutally amazing, really amazing. But assuming that you have hit the critical hits, and in the current situation, this is really a problem. This effect can be triggered up to once every 6 seconds. So not only that, it's literally once every 6 seconds. Still, it was really nice at one time. After using a skill, this is the second effect. The next one basic attack have 20% chance to deal 1400% artillery damage to 3 targets. So for you to use this effect, you have to cast around 5 hero skills, and this is not even clear if it is the ship skills or the hero skills, because there is a complete different. Again, I will discuss it in a different video. This alone is very little effect. It's RNG, it's random, completely random effect. As the number of targets increase, that damage will decrease. This effect is general everything. This effect can be triggered up to once every 3 seconds, and the lethality of this damage is increased by 90%. The lethality, if you guys seen here, the lethality in general is how brutal your attacks are going to be when it comes to killing enemy sailors, okay, and nothing else. So basically, the attacks from your artillery ship are going to kill more sailors when it comes to attacking the other enemy sailors. Okay, this is basically it. As you can see, there was a time which this was one of the best skills that artillery ship has. Actually, the more you increase the critical chance, the more this skill is going to shine. But the problem, it's no longer there right now. So it's really losing its age. Now there is 2 more new skills which shows up on this mythic, or basically this new ship. One is called Armor Crusher. Basic attack deals an additional artillery damage equal to 400% of the attack, reducing target armor by 40% for 5 seconds. So basically, the more attacks you do, the more damage you are going to have, because this is an additional artillery damage. However, even the ultra trash, I'm not saying trash as bad, I'm saying that when it comes to the cost, the cheapest one here, which is this one, the Tidal, which is again the drowning ship, it's gonna deal 800% and gonna reduce the armor, and is going to add 1 water, taking on water stacks. So if we just technically compare the basic attack of both of these ships, you will understand why the artillery ship is not in a good situation, even when it comes to this new Armor Crusher. Because to me, the drowning ship itself is more of an Armor Crusher than this one. An artillery ship in general means that the ship itself is going to cost a shitload of attacks. And remember one thing, okay, that everyone, I mean not everyone, but too many of the peeps now, they are having the new tank ship. And if you have this new tank ship, at the start of the battle, turns all enemy ships, making them target itself. If you guys don't know, this is targeting of 2 types of damage. The basic attacks and, yes, the basic attacks and the artillery damage. Basically going to affect this one. So again, this makes the artillery ship itself not that great. Unless there is an AoE attacks. Because the ship cannot target AoE attacks, it's gonna just take one of those AoE attacks because you are hitting the whole fleet anyway. Which is again going to go into our last skill, which is the only one that sounds interesting from all of these. Now here, the next basic attack, after using a skill, these artillery damage equal to 1500% of the attack to extra targets, and increases the ship attack by 120% for 5 seconds. Now there is a problem with the writing of the skill. I don't know, I really don't know if it is a ship skill or it is a hero skill, because now sadly the writing and the descriptions of the game is super misleading. Why? Because one of the best, supposed to be best support ships are actually shitty when it comes to the skills. Why? This is a healing ship, for example. This is a healing ship with no healing. Like, this is a tanky ship. Where's the tanky ship here? This is a tanky ship with a tanking abilities. It casts tanking skills. But this one is a healer ship with no healing abilities. Now, if you see, the only skill that is being cast is not even healing. Divine Cleanse dispels 4 stacks of burning and taking from all the light, which is really fucking amazing. That's the only skill that is actually disabling. But again, like, consider it like some sort of little mini healing. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not healing. But it is the only skill that has been cast by the ship itself, and the game does not consider it as a healing, which is a massive problem. It's a massive problem. Yes, there is a healing here, like medical support. There is a healing passive skills. There's the fighting skill. But if you think about it, all of these doesn't trigger unless the ship has some sort of healing skill. Look, this is the only one that triggers if your heroes healed the ship. Upon healing, increases the healing target by 6 to 8%, depends of the legend. If it's a legendary or epic skill for 6 seconds, this can be effect stack up to 3 times. This means upon healing, so it doesn't really matter if the ship healed or if the heroes themselves healed. This skill is basically going to trigger, which is why the ship is horrible and good at the same time. Horrible because it has no healing skills. Good because it cleanses from the 2 disastrous fucking burning and drowning. Again, let me again put it in a better situation so you can understand the problem. Maybe it's not really clear for you. Now, let's take a look at my flagship. Unlike the healer ship that we are getting, the flagship actually heals. If you take a look here at the ships and go through the talents, okay, here you see all the ships in the fleet recovers HP equal to 20% of the ship's attack every 5 seconds. This is a healing skill, and it doesn't matter if you max it out because the attack of the flagship is garbage anyway, but it is still a skill that has been cast by the ship itself, not a skill that has been cast by a hero inside the ship, which is major thing. You will say, why? I'm telling you, because at least half or more than half of the trinkets on this game doesn't actually work unless you put them in a ship that has this. For example, look at this. Let's take a look at this, which is really looks fantastic. If the wielder has first mate tag, when the ship, look at this, when the ship under the wielder's command performs a healing, there is a 60% to apply 15% damage reduction. Guess what? Everyone will actually put this one in the healing ship, thinking that, yeah, it's gonna work. No, it's not gonna work, because this requires the ship itself to be the one that is casting the healing. Otherwise, this is not gonna work. Now, let's take a look at this one. If the wielder has a captain tag, when the ship under the wielder commands heals an allied, increases its allied attack by 5 ships by 3% until the end of the battle. This can stack up to 10 times. This again will never going to work unless the ship heals, and the only ship in the game that heals is the flagship, assuming you guys took the healing talents. Now, what is more surprising and more hilarious and more annoying is the strongest trinket in the healing in the game. Look at this. When the welder is laying and the ship under her commands uses the skill, applies a shield that can block damage equal to 6% of her max HP to all allied ships for 5 seconds. Now, if you think about it, if you think about this one, again, it requires the ship to cast a skill. So I want to end up this topic fast, so I'm going to give you an idea what is a passive skill and what is an active skill. So let's take a look in here. For example, when the ship deals drowning damage, there is a 50% chance to apply this one. That is not a skill. That's a passive skill. Increasing drowning damage by 60%, that is a passive skill. For every 10 times of dealing drown, increases attack by 50, that is again a passive skill. Even this one, dealing attack deals additional drowning damage, this is a passive skill and not an active skill. So what is an active skill? An active skill, like the following: you have an iron wall at the start of the battle, taunts all enemy ship. That is a skill. That's an active skill. What else do you have here? Let's see here. You have this one, ironclad surging waves. When a hero, this ship uses the rage skill, deals additional strategic damage equal to 300% attack all enemies. Like, this is an active skill. This is so if you put the healing hero in this one, for example, you will see crazier results. You will see your results. And when it comes to the healing ship itself, let's see the healing ship. The healing ship, I think it has one only. So it has this one. This is I think it is like 6 seconds. I'm not sure you can even consider, but it is something that gets activated every 6 seconds. This is another active skill. So this is an idea for you to show you what does active skills means. In general, there is more active skill, but this is not the topic of the video and the point. So again, going back to our main topic, which is the ships. I'm so sorry if I took so much of your time, but I'm trying to make you understand that if you are ever going to go for an artillery ship, this is the only skill that basically that would work. Next basic attack after using a skill deals an artillery damage to this, which means again, since this is not really defined very well, if it's a hero skill or if it's a ship skill, I don't know. I really don't know how good this ship it is if I just try to read it. However, I have tested this ship already, and the difference between the ship and the basic ship, the legendary ship, is absolutely not much. Take a look. Okay, so let me see from whose of the friends is I can like do some testing with. Let's see. Hopefully XCon is there. Okay, let's take my friend here as an example and do a test with the ship once and do another ship testing and see. Okay, so let's go into the results here. This is the damage of the ship. Okay, it's very high, as you can see. It doesn't show you the reasons, but obviously it's not this. But it doesn't show you the reasons. Like, as you can see, it looks like the ship itself did half of the damage of this one. So this is the ship, as you can see. I will do one more attack so you guys can see. I did not upgrade the ship so much because I don't have it really at high level. I have it like, I think at 49 or 50, I'm not even sure. Here's again another testing so you guys can see the range of the damage. Again, one more. See. 880, like 800 million. But no matter what happened, as you guys can see, no matter what happens, it did not really reach the top 3, my top 3. But it is RNG. It's completely an RNG thing. Again, let's do one more to be very fair. Okay, so let's see. This hopefully is the final result. Holy shit, that's completely an RNG ship for real. Like this, the random thing about this ship is brutally crazy. So it started little, it goes up and goes down, goes up and goes down. It has never been a steady because this is, look, I got defeated there. So it's like, it is really weird. But I'm just telling you, this is how the ship is going to perform. Now we are going to switch into the other ship. Let's see if I still have it. So this is at 50, this is at 46, and it does not feel like a fair comparison here. So to make it fair, I will reset the ship. Okay, and raise that ship into 50. Okay, and then now I have to equip it with the, yeah, it is the right one. Good. Now let's see here. Okay, so let's do the testing back again and see the difference. Defeat. Okay, the first one is this one, that damage. And the second, let's try again. Another defeat. Okay. See? It's annoyingly an RNG ship. Another defeat. And even though it's 000 results. But do you see the problem now? Did you guys see the problem now? This is the problem. It's completely RNG ship. Like, I mean, look at the damage. It is almost as close as the other one would definitely give me a little bit of an edge, but the edge costed me $900 to get it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. Like, I did not really feel that like it's a massive difference. Yes, it's a mythic ship, but is a $900 gonna be worth this? I mean, I don't know really, guys. Look at this. Look at the ship. So it technically has a chance to even be surpassing the mythic ship. Yes, I didn't win when I was as you guys, but the ship damage itself is not bad, and it's triggering the rest of the stuff too. So I'm like, I don't get it. It's completely very RNG thing. But overall, I'm not impressed, impressed at all by the ship, to be honest. But yeah, Victor, see, it jumps around being wins and loses like this. Look, it again tell me that it doesn't feel like there is really a massive difference here. It doesn't really feel that much. I don't know really. It is weird. It is weird because one ship here improves the artillery damage and one ship here adds critical damage. It's like it doesn't feel so clear to me to tell you, oh, the ship is worth throwing $900 on it. The only ship that was so far worth it for me when it comes to the ships in here was, this is the only one lethal full tricks out of all mythics that was actually worth it for me. At the same time, the siren itself still performs way much better. The siren itself, it still performs way much better than the mythic ship which I'm having. I'm actually doing less and less with these. Maybe this is why in the future they are going to allow you to actually craft the ships with these. Does it make sense? This is the only thing that makes sense to me. It's like they're not selling these yet, but in the future they're going to allow you to pick up the skill that you want, which is maybe why it has been like this, because it doesn't really make sense to me otherwise, like for real. Anyway, that's basically it, my lovely sweet pirates. I'm so sorry for taking so much of your time. Have a great day.